Question came in.
What do we got?
A question from Kakashi 6666666.
That's a lot of sixes.
That's a lot of sixes.
He's got like 6 sixes. So you guys got a question from you. What is your opinion on changing the tone and setting of a game for an arc to keep things fresh? He said things fresh, but I'm pretty sure it's things.
I don't know. I've definitely done it. One of my Ravenloft games ended up going into Spelljammer, and they became space pirates. So, I think if you're gonna do it, give your players a heads up so that they have an idea that it's coming. You know, you don't want to take like a bunch of players that are trying to play like a political intrigue game or whatever in like a high fantasy setting, and then just throw them into Ravenloft or something like that. Or
you guys can't see this, but our chat admin over here, when you said space pirates, the look on her face was a combination of a 3-year-old getting chocolate milk and ice cream and this.
Oh man, now I want chocolate milk and ice cream.
I think you struck a chord.
That is accurate.
Now, anyway, as far as switching gears goes, I don't know. Have I ever switched gears, players?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's something that.
Switch gears like initial D goes around quarters.
But I think it's a healthy thing for a campaign, especially a longer one, to keep things fresh and keep things different. And it can be something as simple as going to a different part of that world with a different culture. Stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to change campaign settings.
Given the nature of the conversation tonight, playing the devil's advocate, sometimes you switch gears because you're trying to throw a monkey wrench at them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's y'all are getting too damn comfortable, too damn complacent. So here's a curveball from left field that's on fire and radioactive.
Yep. I like to do stuff where you've got, the players are coming back to an area that they've been in before and all that, and they find out the hard way that whatever they thought they had handled there absolutely backfired while they were gone, and now it's embroiled in a civil war, and so they're having to deal with that in their homeland or whatever. There's all sorts of tricks and things you can do to spice it up, make it more interesting.
What other question came in? How many cats are on your shirt today, Dave?
Just one. He's riding a dragon.
Nice.
All right. The next thing that I was going to do was Pincushioning 201 with Andy. And I was going to talk about DeVir's Devilish design with the help of a Hearth Fiend. And I'm going to tell you a story about a trap that was created by a Child of the Night from Ravenloft in the 2nd edition. The Children of the Night, for those of you who are watching, were sort of mid-level guys. They were like a ghoul gas named Jugo Hesketh. They were a particular personality that came into the Darklands that necessarily wasn't powerful enough to be a Dark Lord, but was certainly a pain in the ass for your average adventurer. There was a whole set of them from like 0 level to like 20th level, and you could play with all kinds of designs, and they were great mid-level villains or helpers or whatever. But there was one that I designed, and I used off of as a template named DeVir, and he created the Devilish deal with a Hearth Fiend. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Hearth Fiend is, a Hearth Fiend is just what it sounds like. It's a demon, a fiend that lives in your fireplace. And
are they related to pie fiends?
Not quite, but we're going to talk about that later on. You might be able to use a Hearth Fiend to make a pie fiend. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Maybe that's where their first job is.
Maybe they start out baking and then they move up into the pastry chef world. Yeah. But the Hearth Fiend was, it's basically just an entity trapped in the flames. And they eventually reach out to somebody in the house, like say, if you have a traditional setting, they'll reach out to the wife, hey, if you give me some choice hickory, I'll never burn dinner. Or if you toss a small animal in here once a month, I'll make sure the children are never harmed.
So similar to, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but in Howl's Moving Castle, the guy in the fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he the Hearth Fiend keeps it going and keeps it going and keeps it going. The ultimate for DeVir's deal was that the Hearth Fiend would offer to give the person who tossed their best friend into the fire their fondest desire.
Ah.
Okay. And the trick was that the fondest desire would be that they would be under the influence of the fiend when they tossed their friend in, and as soon as their friend, hit the flames and started burning, he would let go of them. They'd go, I wish I had my friend back. Is that your fondest desire? Yes. And then their flaming zombie friend would come walking out of the fire and devour them on the spot. It was absolutely beautiful. And I probably had 30 PCs that just fell for it like dominoes. It was great. I had grandmas wandering out to nom on their grandkids. I had someone's little dog Spot come out of the fireplace and gnaw their leg off. It was absolute chaos. It was beautiful.
Looks like we got a question.
Uh-oh.
More like response. So Kashi, who asked you that question earlier, he was saying that he was switched it from high fantasy to steampunk fantasy. He was trying to do something stuck on how to progress in the standard setting, so it felt right.
So are you talking like going from Forgotten Realms to Ravnica, or?
I'm not entirely sure. He says he's going to go back to the normal suit, but it's like people are loving it so far.
Hey, if they're loving it, keep them there for a while,
Let it go.
Yeah, run with it.
If they're having fun rolling dice, man, let them do it.
I tend to build out big plot arcs, but I don't plant flags anywhere, if that makes any sense. I kind of make it so that I let the players steer wherever they want, and I'll just drop in parts of the plot arc here and there, or multiple plot arcs.
I have general goals I want to get to.
Yeah.
And I give not one damn how we get there most of the time.
Yep. Yeah, it's like if they missed the thing I wanted them to find in one town, let's move that to the next town they go to. Maybe they'll stumble over it there.
But yeah, I mean, and as far as changing tone goes, that doesn't matter. I mean, if your players are enjoying it, then just go with it. I mean, why not? Anyway, so that was the DeVir's. How about you? Give me a good trap you've used.
Oh man,
Something fiendish.
I don't tend to use traps all that much. I like to do like real emotional damage most of the time. That's the trap. It's here in my game.
Okay, so you take away their money and tell them they're ugly.
Oh no, way worse than that. But yeah, usually a lot more. Yeah.
Hold on. That tastes like salt. Anyway.
And she wasn't even in that session. She found out about. Were you? Oh yeah, that's right. You were.
Definitely. Hey.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Hey, that's definitely salt.
Yep. But I did have one that it was a really basic trap, but basically there's this pedestal and a thing on it, shiny thing that players
Whatever
want.
thing is.
And the room is semicircular, and on the back wall, the flat part is like almost like an Egyptian like bird sort of drawing or carving thing.
Right. Cartouche.
Yeah. And it stretches all the way across. And so when they pick up the shiny thing, the walls just start closing in.
That's fun.
And then they die. That was about it. Like, there wasn't really any way out.
My favorite two
The solution
traps-
was don't touch the thing.
My favorite two traps of all time, though, I'm going to just blow past these. My favorite one is the hallway. It's long and it's dark and it's creepy and there's cobwebs and there's noises and there's chains being rattled and there's moans and groans. And you look down the hallway and there are these two gigantic glowing green pulsing eyes. And I tell the players, if you want to get some preemptive strikes off, now's the time. And they start hurling fireballs and lightning bolts and shooting arrows and, throwing hammers and shit down the hallway. And they do this for about 5 minutes and nothing happens. And they walk down to the end of the hallway, and it's a blank stone wall with a portable hole on it and a pair of green day-glow pointed eyes on the wall.
Oh, there you go. One of the most insidious traps I saw that was just... Is it... Like, oh, there we go. Is that better? Not better? I wonder what's going on there. Give me just a second.
Okay, here's where the girl from Ipanema comes back in. Funky towel rack,
How's that?
got the funk.
There we go. So one of the more insidious, and it wasn't even a trap. It's not designed to damage the players other than like emotionally. But I think I saw it on Reddit. But the players come into a room. There's a pedestal with a big red button on it. The door slams shut and dissolves into the wall. So now they're completely trapped in this room
With a big red button.
with a big red button, and a timer starts counting down. There's this disembodied voice that says 60, 59, and it starts counting down. And the players are freaking out. Oh God, do we hit the button?
Do we hit the button?
And by the time it's getting into the 10,
They're screaming
9,
at one another.
They're screaming at each other, and finally somebody just hits the button, and nothing happens for a few seconds, and then the voice comes back: 60, 59, 58.
You're evil.
And so it wasn't me that came up with it. It's somebody some evil DM on Reddit. But they went through like a few cycles of this,
Right.
hitting the button. And then finally they decided to just let it count down. They're like, screw it, we're just going to die here. This is what's going to happen. And it hits 0, door opens on the other side of the room.
Oh, that's good. You know the one that I want to do, though? The one that I want to do is based on a joke. What I want to do is I want to have a wall with a hole in it. And noise is happening on one side of the hole, right? They hear talking, an enemy or something talking about plans or something, and they're talking about looking at the map. Hey, don't, keep it covered, jackass, kind of thing. And so the players walk over there and they look in the hole and somebody pokes them in the eye.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like that idea. It's based on the joke of, he's walking down the street one day and he hears people on one side of the fence going 13, 13, 13, 13.
Yep.
And he sees a knot hole in the fence and he looks in it, they jab in the eye and they go 14, 14.
Yep. Another little thing I saw, like it was kind of a ruined puzzle thing. They've got the 2 guards standing by the door, and one of them says, "One of us always tells the truth, one of us always lies," and they're going into their spiel and talking, and blah blah blah, and all this. Meanwhile, the barbarian just unslings his axe and just chops the one guard in half. The guy hits the ground, and the party's just looking on in horror, and he turns to the one of the guards and goes, "Is he dead?" And he goes, "Yeah." He turns to the party, points at the dead guy, and goes,
"That was the liar."
"He's the liar."
Anyway, all right, guys. According to the production schedule, we are now at our intermission because I need to go to the potty.
All
and
right.
we're going to let...